Well, good morning and welcome to Lengro 12 o'clock live. We've been chatting backstage, me and the girls, and I have no idea where today's show is going to go with some of the subjects that we've been talking about. Claire Roy, hello. Let me know if my light is too bright for you. I've got some friends with me up here, and that is because, guys, it's actually National Rubber Ducky Day today. That's right. So National Rubber Ducky Day in 1928, a guy called Landon Smart Lawrence, he was the first to weight the rubber ducky so that it tipped. When it tipped, it returned to an upright position, and they became famous rubber ducks again in 2001. Why? Because Stephen Cates, the Queen, reputedly has one in her bathroom, and it wears a crown. She's got a rubber duck with a crown on top. So let's get rid of those guys there. I will definitely be needing my popcorn for Lengro Ladies in a bit. How are you all doing out there, guys? How are you coping? I'm so glad that you've joined me, because it means that you've got your eyes forward. You've got a sailor suit one in your bathroom. Indeed. I mean, do you collect rubber ducks? More importantly, one of the questions I'm going to be asking today is, we were discussing jobs backstage, and we were discussing about cool jobs that people had. Sam Earle, our resident oil expert, her mother had a very cool job. Maybe you can guess what it might be. But I want to know if your parents had a cool job. I know that for my girls, hello, Samantha Norcup, how is Dad? Please comment and let us all know. When I went to school, or the girls go to school, to say their mum is a clairvoyant has a hit and miss, really, with anybody being a psychic. And there are certain ages it appeals to, and then there are certain ages where sort of they're very wary of it. But in the end, all the kids, when I was at school, would stick their hands out and ask me to read their hands. Do you remember the joke people used to do? Spit in your hand and say, I see a swimming pool. I never did that. I was tempted, but I did read hands. I love it. And I'm going to be doing a school for palmistry as well in the future. Michelle Hayes, Jan Oakes, next week, guys, the Claire Petulengro School of Tarot opens, and I'll be giving you more details nearer the time. Claire Roy, you feel deflated and it's all getting a tad much. I've got Leslie Anthony there. Leslie, I am so gemstoned up today. I really am. Vicky Glinda, you've got a Viking rubber ducky and it's your birthday today and you're going into work. What do you do? Okay, let's get some people done. Let's get some cards quickly. I'm going to go for let me have a little look, because I just saw somebody was struggling today. Let's have a little look. Claire Roy, okay, let's bring you up quickly. Let's just do some one card spreads quickly to see how you're all doing. Can I just tell you all, we've got a new moon in Capricorn, okay? The new moon in Capricorn isn't the only thing that's happening, guys. And I know that Amanda will be filling you in on some amazing new moon ceremonies. The planet Uranus at the moment is preparing to turn direct. Let me give you a little bit of an idea what this means. So it takes the sun 1 year to come back around to where it was when you were born. That's why we say many happy solar returns. Uranus is an outer planet. He takes 84 years, guys, to go around. So he spends 7 years in each sign. It's one of the modern planets. He was discovered in 1781. Now, when a planet has been in retrograde, it looks like it's going backwards, but that's because it's stationary and we're still moving. What does Uranus mean for all of us? Hazy? Well, he's the only planet that spins on his side. Uranus is about change, revolution, shock, disruption, independence, inventions, and the future. So I'm telling you, all of you, wait till tomorrow and look to the news, because with this planet you know, it's going to have a big effect when it moves direct. It's going to see some headlines, I really do think. So test me. Let's see what happens, eh? We know there's a revolution. We know we're moving forward into a new future. What kind of future do you guys want it to be? Well, Claire Roy, definitely emotional at the moment. I've drawn the moon card for you. The moon card, it's an interesting one, isn't it? It shows that you're not in control of your emotions, but it also shows that you're not trusting people around you. Maybe, Claire Roy, you're not relying on your friends when you should be. We all try and cope alone, don't we? But do you know what? Text that friend. Choose the people that can say the right words. One thing with the moon card is it also links to days. Can I suggest, Claire Roy, changing up your routine from what you had to a new one? Sometimes if we empower ourselves with a change of pace, then that can be really, really good for you. Now then, we had a birthday. Where is the birthday? Very glad to hear Samantha Norcup's dad is on the mend. He's not too bad, and she's fed up as well. Zoe Todd, your dad was a farmer. Oh, how amazing is that? I was lucky. Worked the fields outside a lot. Okay, so Vicky, it's your birthday. Many happy solar returns. I love it when I see pictures of animals. And to me, you know, a lion or a tiger is proof that somebody's had a journey and that they now wear their scars as a sign of courage. I've got lots of scars, guys. Not many people know I actually look like Freddy Krueger with no clothes on, but I wear my scars with pride. And I was talking to Jack about this. It's not just physical scars, is it? It's emotional scars. So we're going to come up with some tips today to help you all cope. So Vicky, the Hanged Man is a card where he's played by a character I created called Joey Gray. And it means that you're not at the stage where you're thinking about the material, but you are on a spiritual growth at the moment. He's left his money. It's there on the ground. He's in transition. You need to allow yourself to go with this and to process it. A really good thing is, talking about the planets, when the sun is in your sign, which it is at the moment, it fills us with solar energy. So positivity is yours. Make a plan. This is a time for you to do that, Vicky. It really, really is. And my gorgeous Z, I was supposed to call you, and I'm so sorry that I haven't called you back. I have been recording so far 30 videos, and after the live today, I've got to go and record 56 more. So I will call you, but I will call you next week. So I will make it up to you by drawing you a card. And Z is a follower and a friend who is all the way in Maryland. And let's have a little look. You're going to say, no, I'm Atlanta now. I don't know where my brain is today, I tell you. Oh, I love this, a Six of Swords. What do sixes mean? If you like numerology, you can learn the tarot by applying the rules of numerology to your tarot cards. Because what we know with sixes in numerology and in tarot, it means working well with others, moving on, harmony. This is a good sign for your work as well. Interestingly enough, I'm getting for you, Z, is you and Craig working together in some way. So one of your jobs will pull the other one in. Whether he's going to help on the front line a little bit, I don't know, but that's going to be a good one, and it's going to go well as well. Why do I feel that we need to get Craig busy? I don't know, but I do know that I need to bring on some of my Lengro ladies to tell me what life is all about at the moment. Let's bring on...
Hello. I was looking down there.
I thought I'd grab you there. Listen, Sam, lots of people out there, they're not really coping very well. What's your thoughts? Any tools for them, and how are you doing?
I'm good, but then I'm one of those annoying positive people, aren't I? So I 100% just try and look for the positive in every situation. And it is tough at times, of course it is. We're all human. But you've just got to look at what makes you happy and focus on that. I mean, I love reading. If I get 5 minutes, I would love to just go and disappear and just read a book. Hi, Leslie. But that's just me. You know, find something that you really, really enjoy and do it. It sounds very, very easy, but it's not at this crazy time with everything that's going on. You know, be it you've got kids at home that are getting under your feet, or your husband's doing your head in. Just take yourself out.
Absolutely.
Hello. Good evening, everybody.
So I need to ask, normally you're one of the first backstage. And obviously it's now 11 o'clock at night, just gone in Australia. How's your day been, babe? How are you?
Oh, my day's not been too bad at all, really. I've been writing, actually. I've been doing my twin flame stories and my concluding part to my Red Knight story. So I've really enjoyed it. The characters in the book have taken me to a different place, and it's been fun. Hi, Michelle. How are you, lovely?
Oh,
It doesn't matter what time of day it is, always looks gorgeous. It doesn't matter what time of day, night, whatever.
And this one,
always glamorous.
It's all going on today.
For both of you, and also the gorgeous Jackie Tyler.
How are you hanging in there, Jax? How you doing?
Yeah, well, today's been a bit of a day. I've had people knocking the door, dogs barking. I'm trying to be calm and composed. But no, it is tough. It's tough for everybody. It is a struggle. But I think you just have to choose, how you sort of tackle things, don't you? Like, I've been doing a lot of decluttering this week, and it's been amazing. It's been things I've been wanting to do for ages, since the first lockdown. I thought, right, I'm going to sort this out, sort that out. Things are starting to pile up. The ironing's piling up. The letters are piling up. So today this week I thought, no, I'm going to tackle these things, and I feel so much better. Yeah. I think it does have a really positive effect.
Yeah.
So
In the first lockdown in Australia and the second lockdown, actually, I transformed not one, but two junk rooms into spare guest bedrooms. Well, actually, the first one is the one I'm sitting in now, which I transformed into my kind of recording studio and stuff. And the second I transformed into a spare bedroom. And decluttering is just, it gives your whole body a lightness. Like, you just feel lighter from decluttering, and you walk into a new room that you've created, and you feel an amazing sense of satisfaction. So anybody who's stuck at home, please, if you have that opportunity to declutter, it's very freeing for the mind.
And especially in these times when we haven't got control over very much in our lives, something like that, it gives you a bit of control. So
it does.
It's quite important.
It takes your mind away from things. And the things that you find in that room that you're decluttering takes you back to memories of better days. And just the lightness you feel from that is a great thing. So when you're at home, make most of your home.
Well, that's what I do. Literally every 6-7 months, I'll go through like all my clothes and all my stuff, and if I haven't used it since the last time, it goes. Like, I literally call my mum and my sister the vultures. Any accessory that I'm going, right, okay, it can all go to charity, they're in there first. It's like, yeah, I might like that. Oh, okay, fine, fair enough. And then it all goes to charity because somebody else will use it and it'll give money to a good cause. Like, when I moved back from Germany, obviously I had a whole house worth of stuff that had to go into one room. So I gave it all to the British Heart Foundation. So we're talking about my sofa and all sorts of things like that. And it's the best sofa ever because it was so comfy. But it raised a lot of money for them. And, it's all about giving something back.
Yeah. Michelle Hayes, she agrees there. Do you know what? I'm sitting here, guys, and I'm thinking, you know what? Sam's giving some really good advice. But actually, I'm just thinking of what we were talking about when we were backstage. I was wondering if anyone has an interesting job that's unusual, or whether their parents did as well. I want to bring Amanda on, but I'm waiting for a wave from Amanda. Let's have a little look. Where is my darling? There she is. Hello, beautiful.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, beautiful.
In a moment, we're going to be talking about jobs. But also, what I want to ask you is, how are you doing? How is life in lockdown for you, and how are you feeling?
Oh, are you asking me?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I tell you what I've been doing to make myself feel better is this.
I love it.
You look amazing.
Amazing, huh?
Love it.
Everybody
I think that's the thing, Amanda, you can pull anything off. That's obviously what we proved today.
and also because I have my rubber duck. So, that makes me
Batman.
having a little bath with my Batman rubber duck to celebrate your rubber duck week. And
Did you know
Go on.
that in 2013, it took a while, the rubber duck actually was one of only 52 items that are now inducted in the Toy Hall of Fame. So definitely claim to fame there with my rubber duckies as
I
well.
think it's going to be worth a lot of money, and actually is my son, so I hope he's not watching, because actually it's like he's supposed to have it at uni, but I'll have it.
Jack, well, all of you, Amanda especially, how do you explain your job to your children? Because there's a sort of unusual nature about yours. I'm asking about unusual jobs. Stella Henderson said my nan was a supervisor for the Houses of Commons. Well, let me ask you, Stella, is it true that it's still a pound a pint in the House of Commons? I'd heard it was. And now I'm a supervisor for 2 schools. What an amazing job. We've also got somebody there that I think herself or her mum volunteers for the British Heart Foundation. Hat off, we salute your mum. What a wonderful job. And of course, we are in Lengro magazine today saluting our wonderful NHS. So any of you out there at all, and when I'm going to be giving readings in a little while as well, maybe we should focus on some of those NH workers. Let's focus on all of you and get some readings done. That's what I think. Amanda,
Yes,
I
darling.
can either leave you on with us, or I can look. You light up our lives, Amanda.
I'm going to share. It's so nice to be with you all as well. So it's just a joy. In answer to the question, because I'm trying to get organised in my mind, to declutter my mind, because I do so many things, and obviously wearing lights like this helps. But my son, when he was 4, they said, "What does your mum do?" And he said, "She gets covered in melted chocolate and helps people die."
That is amazing. That's so true.
I had to explain, and all the school teachers came to my show for the love of chocolate, where I do get covered in melted chocolate, and then understood my work as a death doula and all the other things helping people die. But it did sound a little bit worrying, like death by chocolate. I thought I'd get arrested, you know.
What's the best way to die, though, Amanda? Death by chocolate. Like, really?
That's the worst way, is it? Let's be honest.
Bring it up. Sam. Do you know anybody in your family with an unusual job?
My mum used to have an unusual job, and I don't think she's watching, so it's fine. She used to, like, we're talking back in the 80s / very, very early 90s, because it was before my father was in the RAF, so that's how long ago it was. She used to work for Ann Summers. So she used to leave the house with a big old suitcase every night to go and do parties. And apparently I did a drawing of this, and it made her look like she was some sort of night worker, we say. So as we lived in a small community, my mum had to explain to the headmaster that actually she did Ann Summers. She was not a night worker. But, I don't remember this. It clearly didn't do us any harm. It's fine. You've got to do what you've got to do to make money, to, sort out your kids and your house. So, hey, didn't do us any harm.
Yeah, and hey, can I just say as well that I've had many clients over the years who are night workers, and there's some very, very nice ones. And, it has been a job for some people. So, whatever job you do, Michelle Hayes, my mum, fostered children.
And you can buy some amazing things from Ann Summers as well. Like they had some very, very pretty stuff.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, this was sort of
early
90s, so it was sort of before that sort of thing was out. So it was still a bit risky, but it wasn't. She didn't put herself in any danger or anything. It just apparently my picture made it look that way. But as I don't remember this, and I was clearly only about 5.
It was just you getting her in trouble.
Well, I should imagine it was a very embarrassing conversation she had to have at school. But yeah, sorry, Mum. I'm really not sorry, actually, so I kind of take that back.
Well, listen, I'm going to hand over the stage now to Amanda, who is going to tell us a little bit about her new moon celebrations. Then I'm going to bring on Leading Ladies, and then we're going to do lots of readings and give lots of advice. We want to know about unusual jobs, and I think that after Leading Ladies as well, we are going to be talking a little bit about sex. And how it appears on screen. We want to know if you think there should be a stricter watershed. A really interesting point that I found as well in my little book of facts today is in 1940s Britain, children's TV was shown from 5 to 6 p.m. and then transmission stopped for an hour to encourage them to go to bed. So it's not just about what we see on our screens, it's about how much screen time we have. But keep the screen time up here. I'm going to take these ladies off, and here's the lovely Amanda to tell you about the new moon.
Oh, well, hello everybody. It's so nice to see you. It's nice to be here. I've had a bit of a week where I thought, well, I'm still waiting to find out if I've had COVID. Definitely been a bit of a scare, where you kind of feel that, oh, you know, there's so much fear in the atmosphere, there's so much worry. So I'm not reading the news or looking at the news at the moment. I had a very tight, my lungs were very, very tight, but I'm feeling so much better now. And the reason why it's important for me to kind of do the ceremonies that I do, that I'm going to talk to you about, is that to mark times in the phases of your life, to mark times in the phases of the year, to mark small victories or big victories, like being alive. It's amazing at the moment. I feel very lucky and blessed. And what we tend to do, and also in lockdown, what makes it slide into one day into the other, and, you know, where that boredom seeps in and that self-recrimination and overeating and everything, is because we're not actually breaking up our time or working with the seasons. And when we do work with the seasons, as a celebrant and a ceremonialist and all the other jobs and hats that I wear, I'm passionate about educating and sharing ceremonies that will not only uplift you and focus you, but also transform you in your sort of body, mind and soul, and honor where you are at this time, whether you are in a difficult space or whether you are in a really good space, because very rarely do we actually check in with ourselves. So ceremony, small rituals help us mark those events. So I'm going to read you something, because today is a new moon, and I want to invite you all to join me for a new moon ceremony, which I'll do today at 5:30. It'll just be quick, about 5:30, at my Facebook page at Amanda Waring Celebrant, which I think Claire might be clever and put it on the banner. I'm offering that as a free gift for the start of this new year. So come and join me. But this is about the new moon right now, that I'm going to read a bit of information from you, and with thanks to Claire. So the new moon is in earthly Capricorn. It will help us to feel more grounded. So there's a no eclipse to this new moon. It's time to focus on our goals and all the things we want to achieve in 2021. So the moon in Aquarius will help us all focus on the future rather than the past, which is fantastic. And so don't look back, but keep eyes forward. The future is awaiting you. Sometimes we can be so tired and exhausted, we don't know what future we even want right now. Just small steps, baby steps. But let's think about opening our world up again. I know we're closed down, but let's open up our internal world. Let's plant these seeds of our future. So in this ceremony this evening, or at 5:30, we will do something with where we can either, if you've got crystals, we can plant those, or little pieces of paper with the wishes that we want to do. And I will sort of do that for the collective of people. And we'll also plant some wishes for the world as well, which I think is really important right now. So my new work that's coming out, and Claire, just come back on, darling, because you know me, I'll talk forever. And
that is so lovely. That is so lovely. Well, I'm going to be joining you at 5:30 tonight. And I think now we're going to look at a little bit of light entertainment to find out what we need to be watching with our popcorn.
fantastic.
Hello again.
Hello. So girls, what have you been watching this week?
Well, I think, do you know what, Em? I don't know about you, but I think let's mix it up. Jack never goes first with what she's been watching.
Yeah.
Let's throw you in it because I've
Okay.
seen what you've been watching.
Yeah,
100%.
I've been watching Little Fires Everywhere. Now, I know I'm a bit late to the party with that one, but I've only just got Amazon Prime. So it's an 8-part series, and it's with Reese Witherspoon. I think, Sam, you might have seen it.
I have seen it, yeah.
And Kerry Washington. And it's about Elena Richardson, who is Reese Witherspoon's character, and she's this perfect mother and housewife. She's also a journalist, and she's got 4 children, lives the perfect life. And then one day she sees a woman in a car, living in a car with her daughter, who's obviously homeless, and reports her to the police. But this woman actually moves into the area, Shaker Heights, and the 2 women's paths cross. And it's just, the whole series is really about motherhood and race and prejudice and things like that. But it's got a really good story. I don't want to give too much away, but the acting's brilliant and it is really, really good. I really enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it, Sam, when you watched it?
Yeah, 100%. I just think everyone takes away something different when they've watched it. I read the book originally, so it was a little bit different than the actual book. But that was always the way, isn't it?
Yeah.
The way that Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington both performed, so close to what I'd actually imagined anyway, that it was really, really good. And I thought all the younger actors as well were phenomenal.
Yeah, because her perfect family isn't really perfect.
No, it's just picture perfect.
Yeah.
I never are.
Yeah, so that was really good. And the second thing I watched was Wild Rose, which is on Netflix. And it stars Jessie Buckley, who's actually an Irish actress, but she plays a Scottish amateur singer in this. And the music in it is brilliant. And it's a story of Rose, who's a very wild character. And she's a mum, and she's just come out of prison. She's been serving a year-long sentence on a drugs charge. And the first thing she does is not go and see her children, who she hasn't seen for a year, but head over to her boyfriend's house in her white cowboy boots with her tag on. And when she finally does go to see her children, who are living with her mum, who's played by Julie Walters, she can't bond with them. You know, she sort of, she just wants to live in Nashville and be a country singer. And she goes to work for a housekeeper for this very wealthy family, and the lady she works for hears her singing and is blown away. So she helps her raise money, try and get her to Nashville. But Rose, being Rose, lots of things go wrong. She's a very sort of wild, gritty sort of character, but you can't help but love her. She's like a rough diamond sort of thing. So I won't say whether she gets to Nashville or not, but it is really worth watching because the music's great and she's fabulous in it. Really, really good. What about you, Em? What have you been watching?
Well, there goes stereo.
So this week we stumbled on this show. We have the Disney Plus, so my son's always keen on a weekend night to watch film together, and so he put on a film called Onward, which is a Disney Pixar animation. And it's about 2 elf brothers. And sadly, their father has died when they were very, very young. And on one of the brothers' birthdays, his 16th birthday, his mum presents him with a letter from his father and a magic wand. And the letter from his father contains a spell that can bring him back for one day. So both of the brothers try the spell. The older brother tries first and fails, and then Ian, the youngest brother, whose birthday it is, tries and succeeds. But he becomes a little unconfident halfway through the spell, and so they're only able to bring back his father's legs. So then the 2 brothers go on a quest to find a secret magic gemstone that will bring his father back. And of course, they've got limited time. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful film. Like, you know, obviously me and my husband are both old, and my son is 13, but all three of us found ourselves laughing out loud so massively. It was beautiful. It was a film about siblings, you know, the love between siblings, the whole family love. You know how Pixar animations are, and
Heartwarming.
so I highly recommend it because it's not something that I've heard of, but it was really, really good. It was really funny and really uplifting. And then the second thing that I watched was The Mess You Leave Behind. Now, this is a Spanish drama series, and I actually am a great fan of the director of this film. He made a show called Elite, which had 2 series, and it was one of those shows that I was literally sat on the edge of my seat and pressing the continue button to see series after series. And his next one, Mess You've Left Behind, was based on a book he'd written. And it was absolutely fantastic. It tells the story of a teacher who goes to a small town, her husband's town, to replace an English literature teacher. Now, this woman is very, very unconfident. She's had a nervous breakdown following the death of her mother. She gets into the classroom and the students just basically annihilate her because the teacher before had been so amazing. But she was dead and she had supposedly committed suicide. But as it turns out, she didn't commit suicide. And the new teacher, Raquel, decides to investigate the supposed suicide of the teacher before her and uncovers a lot of secrets in the town, and obviously stirs up a fair bit of trouble and puts her own life at risk. But yeah, absolutely thrilling, really edge of your seat drama. It is dubbed into English, but the thing is so well done that I would still highly recommend this series.
Oh,
No, it does sound really good.
yeah, it does sound good.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was Elite and What You've Left Behind. That guy can't go wrong, I swear. He's so clever. He's one of my favorites.
Oh, awesome. What about you, Sam?
Well, I went once again, 2 opposite ends of the spectrum because it's me and who would not expect anything else. So the first series, we touched on it on Saturday morning on our live then, it was The Serpent. Has anybody else seen this?
Wow.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing. It's all on BBC iPlayer. You can stream the whole series. It is about a 1970s serial killer who only really got on anyone's radar because a diplomat, well, he wasn't even really a diplomat, he was a secretary to an ambassador, saw this thing and he was just like, wonder what's sort of gone there. This couple has disappeared, and you know, he knew somebody who knew their parents, who, you know, and came across what had actually happened, and they'd been murdered. So the Thai police did not care, they didn't want to know, because Charles, who is the serial killer, although everyone calls him Aladdin, because that's how he prefers to be known, has got friends high up in the Thai police. So the Thai police just said to this ambassador secretary, just go, Herman, go and do what you want with it. So he did, and it basically took over his life, which sounds really tragic. It wasn't tragic. He still lived his life to the full and all the rest of it. But I did love the fact that at the end it did an update of the real people, because it destroyed Herman, who was the ambassador's secretary. who started all of this. I should imagine Charles/Aladdin absolutely curses him to the back and beyond, because it wasn't for him, obviously he would never have been found out, because he was doing it all over the world. And obviously in the 70s it wasn't so much that you flew everywhere, it was more you drove everywhere. So it's got him doing flying and driving, using other people's passports. He's very good at fraud as well. But Herman's wife, because it ruined his marriage, because obviously he let this case take over his life. But his wife ended up working for the UN. Very, very intelligent lady, very, very clever. Literally could pick up another language just like that, absolutely phenomenal. But it's just these people, you're just like, how did this guy get away with it for so long? And it was purely just because he was doing these different crimes in completely different countries. And obviously he didn't, because he wasn't using his own passport, they didn't know that he'd been to these different countries and was using his victims' passports. But I don't want to say any more, because it is literally 100%. Jenna Coleman plays the lead. She is absolutely fantastic. She starts off like really, really shy and retiring. She just gets hooked up with Charles, but obviously she doesn't know him as Charles. And then it sort of shows her getting a bit more confident. And she didn't really understand what was going on, but it's whether or not she was just being dumb and wanting to believe the best in him, or whether or not she was actually part of it. And you don't sort of realise until the very, very last episode which one she actually does fall into. But
they only
my friend recommended that. Sorry.
Yeah, all the victims were backpackers.
They're all backpackers, yeah.
Yeah, all the victims were backpackers. So which was obviously in the 70s, it's not like you could just get on your phone or jump on Wi-Fi and just go, I'm here, there and everywhere. These people weren't expecting to hear from their relatives for months at a time because they've been traveling. So that's why he got away with it for so long. But it was a bit cocky, 100%. In 2010, he went to Nepal and hired a photographer to take his photo to let everyone know where he was. Nobody knows why. It's just bizarre. But obviously everyone then caught up with him, and his crimes obviously do eventually catch up with him. Otherwise it'd be a pretty sad story. But apart from that, I was watching Bradley Walsh and his son Bradley doing the unseen bits from their trip. I don't know if anyone's seen any of the series where they literally just get in an RV and I've done holidays where there are RVs and you just see where you end up and you do random stuff. But the program's hilarious. And then when you've got them doing the bits that were actually going on behind the scenes as well, and the story of what was actually going on at the time as well, absolutely brilliant. But it got me thinking, what exactly are people's favourite scenes from films, etc.? So what about you, Em? What's your favourite scene from a film, any film?
Oh my goodness, that's a hard one. I don't know. I think probably one of my favourite scenes was from the film True Romance. Have either of you ever seen the film True Romance?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No? You saw it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was probably the scene where the drug dealer completely destroyed his room because the hero and his girlfriend had completely messed with his mind. And that was probably one of my favorite scenes. It was really clever and really, really intense. And
what about you, Jack? What's your favourite scene from the film?
My favourite scene has to be Officer and a Gentleman, where he walks into the factory and the music's playing and they all see him, don't they, apart from her, and then she turns around and he scoops her up and walks out with her in his uniform. So that is my favourite scene ever.
I think that's one of mine, but I love it when they sort of come into their own. So it's sort of like, even with Grease and Sandy sort of, found this extra side of herself. Or if anyone's seen Easy A and Emma Stone is sort of like, no, this is what happened, this is the true story. I sort of love it when they come into their own. She's All That, things like that when she comes downstairs. I love all those sort of things. What about you, Claire? What's your favourite film or scene from a film?
Ooh, let's bring Amanda on as well. I think for the one-liners, I think Pretty Woman. I mean, there's so many good lines, not just the sort of romantic aspect, but also the fact that when she says to her friend, name someone that the fairy tale comes true for, and she goes Cinderella, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And just when she gets in the lift, oh, there's a sofa in here for two. Or I think it's got some great one-liners, and I think Julia Roberts really, really shone with that. What about you, Amanda?
Oh, it's got to be Field of Dreams. Just love that film. Oh, just love that film. If you build it, they will come. I've had moments like that in my life, so it's really resonated with me. And Kevin Costner was amazing. The whole concept, I watched it about 5 times, and I was in a show doing Wuthering Heights, and I remember taking the whole cast, and we were all of us late for our own performance because we loved it. So that wasn't very good. We were just cutting up, but no time to put on makeup.
Kevin Costner, who could forget him in The Bodyguard?
Oh,
who doesn't love that scene right at the end where she goes running off the plane to him? That's also one of my favourites too. Phenomenal actor.
What is your favourite film out there? I do want to say, let me just bring up this person. Guys, we give up a lot of our time to try and help you guys. And messages like this are scams, guys. And I really, really do take offence that people will come on when we're doing all of this for free to try and get your money off of you. So this is what one of the guys looks like, and I blocked him now. And it's just a shame, isn't it, that in hard times, people will try and get your money off of you. So if you do want to get in contact with any of us, then very easily just to message us direct as well. We'd never ask, a scam like that or for money from you guys as well. I want to know your favourite film and why. And I'm going to take the lovely ladies off just for the moment there, because I want to quickly show you what is going to be, or what is right now in Lengro this week. And then while you're watching the video, if you'd like a reading, comment below, and let's do some readings for you guys. Have a little look at what Jack says about the mag. Here you go.
Hi everyone, and welcome to issue 34 of Lengro magazine. In this week's issue, we're talking all about health. We have a beautiful spinach and feta tart in the Lengro kitchen from our lovely Jan. And Jan is back on her page to talk about her health problems and tell us the importance of diet, grounding and avoiding harsh chemicals. Sam tells us what oils we can use for acne. Stephen Connett has an interview with some musicians. In the Lengro Beauty Box, Tatiana talks about how to achieve fluffy brows. Mitch gives us some theatre and art news and tells us all about his new online show. Amanda shows us how to move through changes with grace. There's some fabulous top tips from the beautiful Cherie for a healthy mind and body. And our fitness queen Kirsty talks a bit more about her COVID experience and tells us what muscle memory is and how important cardio is for our hearts. Em has the third part of her story on her page, so check that out. I've got some fabulous beauty products and some important news if you've got cats and dogs about the dangers of antifreeze. Lovely Laura is back and she's talking about the heart chakra. She also tells us about her chronic condition and how she manages her pain. Have a look in Claire's From Me to You because she had some challenges for us this week, so find out what happened. And also check out the lovely leading ladies in their film club and what films we've all been watching this week. So I really hope you enjoy the magazine, and don't forget to let us know anything you'd like to see in the magazine or anything you'd like to tell us. Stay safe and have a great week. Bye for now.
Oh, don't you just love Jack? Thank you for doing that every week for me, Jack. I've got to tell you, behind the scenes, guys, we've got so much coming up in upcoming issues of Lengro magazine. Not only today we'll be talking about health, learning to live with conditions and ailments, but also this week's Lengro is dedicated to the NHS and the amazing work that they do. We're going to be looking at love on Valentine's Day. We're also, in the weeks ahead, going to be looking at mental health as well. My cousin Lucy Orton is watching, and she is indeed a nurse with the NHS. And your beautiful face is in the magazine today. We're talking about women, International Women's Day. We've got sliding doors, turning points in your life. There is so much content coming up for you guys. So use us and abuse us. That's what we put all the effort in for. Cuz and everybody else, the ducks are because it's actually National Duck Day. But we're going to pick some people for some readings. So let's just go for it. Let me know if you're feeling down. Say hello to my gorgeous cousin, Lucy Orton there. I love you so much. Lisa Stevens, let's get to you. I'm going to pick a card for you. What a beautiful face you've got. So open. The practicality of your Virgo sign also comes through there as well. My hair could never look like that. Let's have a little look for you. I've turned the Queen of Wands. Love the Queen of Wands. Played by my 13-year-old daughter, Lucy. It shows that your creative skills and everything that you wanted to do have been turned on their head at the moment, Lisa. What we also know as well is that queens will always relate to water signs. And indeed, the season on here, this is the spring equinox, which this year is on the 20th of March. So between this, wait till March on the 20th, and between then and the summer, you need to fire up on all cylinders. Don't do anything before then. The creative process isn't unleashed yet, but we do get timings. And you can learn about that in my new Claire Petulengro School of Divination, where I want to unlock the secrets of the tarot for you guys. Don't forget that Uranus at the moment is preparing to go direct, and it is the planet of revolution. So we can expect an eventful few days. Who are you going to be when you come out, and who do you want to be? I'd love to talk more as well about different jobs that people have done. Michelle Hayes, of course, you can have a card, my darling. Let's get some readings done. I am back on later on today after I've recorded some videos for my school, and I will be guest hosting Derek's later, but I'm really looking forward to going in my members club as well. So if you are a member, then do let me know, please, what sort of time later would suit you. It'll be about 5-ish, I think. Okay, so the Five of Swords. Five of Swords is the mental pressure that you've been under. You think that you're not coping, but actually you are. The worst is over. So you now have your facts. You can look at what you've got to deal with, and you can look at how you can deal with it. Everything is open to you. So I'd have to say, Michelle Hayes, gorgeous one, stop sticking your head in the sand. If you think you are, please don't. Let's have a little look. Who else is desperate for a reading? Come on, guys, because I want to bring on my Lengro ladies and have a bit more chat with them as well. Pat Taylor, there we go. Should we do you, beautiful? You are an Aries. So in today's issue of Lengro as well, at lengro.co.uk, I'm talking about your star signs and what parts of the body each sign rules. So Aries rules the head, and Aries can sometimes get more headaches than most signs as well. Fever feels good for that as a herb, but drawing the Chariot card for you, it shows, you're looking at choices, but look at alternative ones. There's not just two choices, and you are equipped for change. It means you're going to be forced into a change. We can't stop what we're forced into, but we can stylize it as well, can't we? And that's something that you really need to focus on doing. Okay, one more, and then I'm going to bring the girls back on. Come on, let me do my cuz who works for the NHS. Oh, the Six of Cups. It's going to be a wedding next year, cuz. What we see here is a joining of past and present coming together. So it means you're making your life more official in some way. It's a really successful combination. And it also shows for you that as far as your love life is concerned, a better understanding has developed. Has that gorgeous man of you been taking care of you? Because it seems that things are shaping up now. Things are changing for you. We have got this revolution coming in at the stars tomorrow. How are you all going to deal with it? Let's have a little look. Aisha, you were so nice. Let's have a little look. There you are. Oh, look, there's so many of you. Let me just pick 2 more cards then. Let's do Aisha. Okay. Aisha, I've got the Ace of Wands. We love it. New beginnings, inspiration. You've got your mojo there. What we do know is your creative instincts are strong now. It means Uranus will go in your favor at the moment. So from tomorrow, you can unleash the power, but you'll be having ideas from straight away. Indeed, you will. Let's see. Stephen Hode, let's quickly pick a card for you. This one wants to jump out at me. 9 of Pentacles. It's about reevaluation, 9s, contemplation, the need for you to think carefully what you do next financially. You know what I say, Stephen? Do a job you love. You never work a day in your life. Don't be afraid to take steps backwards or to take a lesser wage to do what you really want to do. Pat, you do get the headaches. Definitely try Feverfew. Have I left anybody out dreadfully? I don't know if I have. Let's have a look. Stella, did I do you? Let me know. Comment, Stella, because I don't think I have. And then I'm going to bring the other guys back on. Let's have a little look. I don't know if I did do Stella. I'm going to bring the others on because if I've done you, tell me. Hello, Jax.
Hello.
Hey, you didn't do Stella. Stella did not get a card.
You do. So
Yeah,
Stella,
you need to do Stella.
I do.
Stella needs a card.
Sam is always helping me out on lives, aren't you? By telling me who I've missed out on.
I
Oh
tried.
my God. Look, she's got the wish card. If you have tarot cards, the 9 of Cups is known as the wish card, which is why I put my beautiful friend Jojo on it. What you want can happen. Positive energy. Because she's undignified, you're not believing in yourself. So it really is a little bit like The Secret for you, Stella. It's the power of positive thinking. Don't think, will things work out? Own it, girl. You know it's going to. So listen, I was talking earlier on about sex in films, weren't we, backstage? Do you think there's too much sex on TV? And what do you think of, the watersheds? What's your feelings on it?
Do you want me to go as the resident pervert first, or do you want to leave me later? I think it depends how good looking the cast are. I think it depends what it is. I don't think anybody watched Magic Mike just for the dancing, or for the storyline. Let's be honest, we were all there to watch Channing Tatum get his kit off.
I was looking for clothes advice, and I thought they might have some interesting.
What you would wear if you were a stripper, or male stripper at that.
That's a great story.
Yeah, no, best story ever. I was just there for the music, honest. It had nothing to do with the gorgeous man at the front of it. But I think it depends on what the story is. I mean, as I said to you ladies backstage, when I watched The Serpent, it surprised me how little sex there was in it. Because there was no gory scenes, there was no sexy scenes, there was nothing like that at all. Right. And it was a real surprise because it's something completely different. And seeing as this man did control people by using his sexuality, you'd think that it would be shown in the programme. But it wasn't.
But do you think that made it better or worse, Sam?
No, I think it was a nice surprise. So I actually think it was better. I think if they just spent an hour of the episode just concentrating on sex, well, then you'd miss the point of it, that they're honouring the victims in the programme, and they're not taking it away, saying, this man was, sex. I mean, I personally didn't find him attractive, but, so obviously he must have been ugly. Sorry. But I think it depends what you're watching.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching 50 Shades of Grey, you've got to expect a bit of sex, haven't you?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, no, obviously we've just watched that storyline.
I'm actually more concerned about violence in films, the unnecessary violence. I don't mind the sex, it's just the violence. Sometimes there's way too much violence in films.
Yeah.
Guys, I was talking about Outlander as well, wasn't I, girls? Outlander is very, very good because we were talking about, how do I put this? Vanilla sex scenes. Yes, there is a lot of shirt ripping, but it's very much they're in love, and it's more about their love story.
I disagree. I started watching Outlander with my daughter, and then the scene came on where the guy was raped by the other guy, and I nearly died. My daughter was in tears.
Really?
And it was, yeah. I love Outlander, but for me that was too much. It was,
Listen,
well,
guys,
not for
I
me personally, but for me watching with my 13-year-old daughter, it was a very confrontational scene. And so, as much as I
But that
love
wasn't without
Outlander,
power
I
as
would
well, though, wasn't it?
recommend
It wasn't just
not to
the.
watch with children,
yeah.
especially.
Guys,
Two.
I'm very aware of the time, and I love talking about films. So I'm my own worst enemy by leading you into this conversation, but I cannot not bring up this comment. So we've got a lovely follower here called Stella, and Jack. You know, when people are waiting for results and things like that, I just want to take this moment to put the film recommendations on one side. What advice have you got for Stella? I mean, when you're wanting to do something, you've been through this yourself a lot.
Yeah, I've been through this quite a few times, Stella, and it is a very anxious time. But you've got to remember, worrying about it isn't going to change anything. So just wait and try and keep yourself busy. Try and stay positive. You know, just think positive thoughts, and you can deal with it. Whatever the outcome, you will be able to deal with it. It's not, you know, not everything is a life and death situation, even though in your head you probably think it is. So just try and take your mind off things, stay calm, and really, really try not to worry.
Yeah. Can I say as well, you know, rest up if you're feeling unwell. Don't try and sort of carry on regardless. A short spell of rest, Stella, can help your body recover quickly, and also a good support system is essential. It can help you
talk to your friends, talk, you know, keep talking to people, because that really does help.
Yeah, that really does. And Amanda, you're doing a full moon, a new moon ceremony at 5:30 on your page this evening. And we will get links up there as well, unless you want to type the link for me as a comment, and I'll bring it up and leave it on. We've picked you up again so late, and it's nearly midnight in Oz. Thank you for staying up every week for everybody, and on Saturdays as well. And Sam, in your column in Lengro, you've decided for the next few weeks to look at essential oils to help health problems and ailments, haven't you? And you've got a great one in today, which is for acne, which actually one of my daughters, and I won't name names, is intent on trying it later on this afternoon. So thank you.
Definitely give it a go. 100%. I don't know if anybody else has done it with the masks. Obviously, there's a new thing about mask acne where you were literally wearing it all the time. I got spots when I was elfing, and it does work. So yeah, no, 100% give it a go.
Fantastic. As always, we will be here again next week for you. I'm recording some tutorials for my new course that goes live and for sale next week, guys, and I'll be page hopping early evening. But thank you so much, all of you, for joining us, and we will see you again next time. Thank you.